Alright guys, so today we're going to learn about class components in React. So first thing we need to do is open up our terminal. And in our terminal, we're going to create React app called class-comp. Now, while that's being created, I'm going to tell you guys what class components are used for. So class components, they're used for anything with complex logic, like user inputs or network requests. Class components allow us to use state, which updates data and handles user input. So when this app is done being created, I'm going to show you guys how to write a class component, and I'm going to introduce you guys to the idea of state. So this is done, so let me cd into class comp. Now in our favorite code editor, we're going to open this up. Open folder, class comp. Here we go. And so like I usually do, delete the src folder, make a new src folder, and in here, index.js. Cool, so let's import React from React, and let's import React DOM from React-DOM. Now I'm going to show you guys the syntax for class component. So the first thing we do is define our class. I'm going to call it app extends react dot component, and now we open brackets and render, and let's return a div that says let's return a div that says this is a class component. And now let us go down here and say react dom dot render app, and then document dot query selector our root. So basically this is the syntax for it, but let me run you guys down exactly is what it is, right? So over here, class app extends react dot component. So this is a base class already, and so basically we're borrowing functionality from this component to use here, right? And notice that you see a render function, right? So in React, we have to define a render function, right? There's no way around it. This is a must, right? And then after the render function, we tell it what to return. So let's actually see if this works. In our terminal, just npm start for our server. Now, when this is done, we should see something that says this is a class component. And there we go, right? So that's how we make a class component. But that's really, really basic, and class components are used to introduce the idea of state. So let's actually talk about that, right? So state is an object that has data needed for the component, right? And updating state causes that component to re-render. So state must first be initialized when a component is created, which is the first thing to do after making your class. So let's actually redefine this app, right? So let's make an app that's going to tell us the month, right? And let's rewrite this whole thing, right? So I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna say we're gonna initialize state. So because state is what's gonna hold our data, right? And let's do that. So we're gonna have a constructor with props, and then we're gonna super that. I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what I'm doing in a minute too. So after this, we are going to define state. This dot state is equal to month and then null. Alright, so let me explain to you guys exactly what this is. So the constructor function, basically the constructor function is the first thing that gets the first thing we see on the screen, right? So this is the function that it's called before anything renders and when the app is first created. So basically, uh, basically there's so our app component has a super props, right? So we have this here, and that's because our app component here, our class app, it's extending, meaning it's borrowing functionality from React.component, right? So in order to get our React.component our React.component functionality, right? We need this base class functionality, right? Because it's being overridden. We call that with super props. So we need the constructor function from here is being called with super props. That's why we need that. And then this dot state equals month null, right? Month is going to be our data. So far it's null, right? There's nothing here, but this dot state is initializing our class, right? So if that makes sense, we are going to move on and we're going to move on and render something, right? Because we built our constructor, so now we need to render, right? Because React says that this is necessary. So let's render and return. Let's return. Hmm. Let's return a div that says the month, right? Let's actually put this in another div that says month here. And let's see what we get if that's rendered. So we have our month here, which is great. And we have our data here and we have our function set up, right? So let's actually add let's actually add our data that's going to be here. Let's add that right now. So let's open up our squiggly braces and let's say this dot state dot month, right? Because we're going to call our data here. And for now, we shouldn't get anything on the screen, right? Month should still be blank because we set it to null. So let's just see, right? Bang, right? Still blank, but it's still going to be rendered, right? So now we have our constructor, we have our render, but now we need to set up a function that will actually get us our month, right? Because so far month is null, but let's just just to show you guys that it works, let's put month 6 and then here, right? Month is going to be equal to 6. So we know that this is working. So let's put this back to null. And let's actually make a function that's going to get us our month, right? So I'm going to call this function handle month. I'm going to call it handle. Wow, I can't spell today at all. Handle month. And what we're going to do is we're going to write this in ES6 syntax, right? I'll explain to you guys why that is in another video, but this is going to save you guys so much trouble writing it in this syntax. So basically what we need to do is we're updating our state, right? We're updating this. So the way we update state is we have to call set state. The only way. We can't say this dot state equals month whatever. We can't do that, right? React does not like that, so we have to write this dot set state, right, to update our month, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to make another ES6 function and we're going to get the month like that. So basically I'm going to get the previous month. These three dots is going to get the previous state, right? The state that it's currently at. So which would be the month that we set. So it's going to get null, and then we're going to replace that with some JavaScript built-in function, right? We're going to replace month with new date, which is a JavaScript built-in function, right? So if we go to here, we go to our console, we could go new date and actually get the date, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to get our date and then we're going to say get month, right? So this is going to return to us the number of month we're in. And let me warn you guys though that JavaScript's get month function is zero index. So January would be month 0 and you know December would be month 11 because we're zero indexed. So after that we're going to call this function. We're going to call this function right here with a button. So let's do that. So we're going to have a button that says click me, and then when you click the button your month is going to show up. So let's actually add a button. Click me. And let's actually add our onClick function, which is which is another built-in function, I think, for React. So this dot handle month, right? And save that. And so let's close this out. Click me, you get month 8, which is September, which is the month I'm in, right? So bang, and that works. And that's how set state and class apps are. Alright, class components are. Alright, hope you all learned something.